What's going on, everyone? I hope everybody is doing well. It's another late night game here. I'm up at 1 o'clock in the morning doing this video, starting later than usual because in previous videos I've taken old Celtics highlights from previous seasons or just older games from this season and stuffed them in the videos. But tonight I got this game's highlights. I stayed up extra late to get these highlights for you guys, so I hope it's worth it. Let's get into the game. The Celtics grab a massive road win, the first road win in over a month. This one coming against the Sacramento Kings, the final score being 144 to 119. Yes, 144 to 119. Yesterday, after the disappointing loss to the Golden State Warriors, we talked about the formula for this team to win, and we all know what that is, or what the main component is, and it's playing with pace and getting out in transition. And I'm not sure if that was the Celtics plan going into tonight, but it was inevitably going to happen. Going up against a relentless offense like this in the Sacramento Kings, you just need to match them. Other than transition, something else the Celtics did really well was move the ball with a great sense of urgency. The ball wasn't sticking in anybody's hands, and that's what led to so many great shots. The Celtics shot 42 threes tonight, making 52% behind the arc. If you're shooting like that, you will probably never lose a single game. With Tatum out tonight, it was interesting to see some of the players be able to showcase more of what they're capable of. Brown with 6 assists, White with 7, Drew with 10, and Pritchard off the bench with 4. The team as a whole finished with 35 assists, only 9 turnovers. I think 6 of those came in the first quarter, so they really cleaned it up after that. But it wasn't just the playmaking that was distributed really well, it was the scoring as a whole. This was the first time since the 1987 season that the Celtics had 5 guys score 20 or more points in a game. So after a game like this where the Celtics execute their game plan so well and they stomp a really good Sacramento Kings team, you ask yourself, why can't they play with this pace, this ball movement all the time? If you listen to last night's episode, I'm probably going to sound like a broken record, but a lot of this falls on Jayson Tatum. There's no coincidence there that when he is out tonight, the pace of the game's a bit better, the ball movement's better. But look, I will never go as far as some of these people on social media or on other Celtics talk shows. After a game like this, they're questioning, does Tatum fit with this team? Should we trade Jayson Tatum? Jayson Tatum is the problem. You hear a bunch of ridiculous things. There's a lot more than that. Don't disrespect him. He's a top 5 through 8 player in the league. But there is some questions you should be asking. And again, I don't want to stay on this too long because we talked about it just last night, but Tatum's preferred play style is more methodical, walk the ball up, but this team doesn't need to cater just to Jayson Tatum's play style because there's so much talent on this team. This team is filled with athletes, people who can push the ball out, people who are great with the ball in their hands, make great decisions in Derek, Drew, and now you could even throw Jaylen into that category. Yes, we are now putting Jaylen Brown in that category. Shout out to ESPN for that graphic because since then, 7 games in a row where he's had 4+ assists, and that's tied for the longest stretch of his career, or tonight might have actually been the 8th game in a row, so thank you ESPN. But as I was saying, the way this team is built, the personnel, you need to play to its strengths. This is not the team from 3 years ago, that Jeff Teague, Tristan Thompson, Evan Fournier, Jabari Parker, Romeo Langford, Jayson and Jaylen team. That team, you needed to cater to Jayson's play style to win every single night, or just at least give yourself a chance to win. Of course, they weren't great that year, but no, now you should be asking, can Jayson adapt his game to complement this team? And I think he can. And to be fair, for most of the year, I think Jayson has done a great job getting people involved in the offense and being complementary when needed. This is just more of a recent thing where Jayson feels like a ball stopper at times and settles for bad shots, and it stands out more during this stretch because Jaylen has been elevating his play in that sense. His playmaking has been better. He's been filling his role perfectly. Let's get back into the game though. Going to the second half, the Celtics were only up 8 points, and I was unsure of how this game was going to go because you're without your superstar player, and this team is notoriously kind of a bad third quarter team. They've been a bit better recently, but man, how nice was it to see Kristaps back on the floor, because in that third quarter there, it felt like he himself extended this lead to 22 points. He was doing it on both ends of the floor. They made it a point to find him, which I really liked too, just getting mismatches on the elbow, getting easy jumpers, getting and ones, and on the other end of the floor on the defensive end, he had 5 blocks this game, a few there coming in that third quarter. And something else I like to see from him tonight was that physicality aspect. He's going up against Sabonis, a big dude who puts his elbows into you, he moves you around, and Kristaps, he gets moved around sometimes. He's light. And what I really appreciate about Porzingis is when he does lose a battle on the physicality aspect, he doesn't back down, he's not soft about it, and he keeps coming. So what he lacks in strength, he makes up for in length. Pause. But that's exactly what we saw tonight. Over the course of the game, his length wore on the team. He only had 5 blocks, but the amount of shots he changed was countless. And we got to talk about this. I have to pat myself on the back for it because I feel like I was kind of early and people were giving me crap in my comments on a short I made, but the Derek White All-Star case has never been more real. He is doing everything right now at a supremely high level. Just another phenomenal game, 26 points, 7 assists, 3 blocks, a steal. And you know, before the season, Derek White wasn't on the top 100 NBA players list, and that was ludicrous to a lot of people, and I'm happy about that. But during the game tonight, JJ Redick put out a tweet, and it was funny because he's one of Derek White's biggest advocates, and he said, you know what, I'm sorry that I only called Derek White a top 50 player, and I think that speaks volumes. He's not a top 50 player right now. He's playing like a top 30 player in the league. On the season, he's averaging 16 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds on 48, 42, 88 shooting splits, a block and a steal a game. But besides the counting stats, in my lifetime, I can't remember a Celtics player who just continuously makes the right read on each end of the floor. On defense, his positioning, his instincts, his quick hands. On offense, he's always taking the right shots, and he's becoming more of a 3-level scorer. He gets to the rim, he's getting and ones. He has a little pop floater in the lane now, and the pull-up 3 in transition. Everything is just money. Even when Tatum comes back, I want to see more ball time for Derek White. That doesn't mean more shots, but just him being the maestro of things, making the decisions more. Let's try to hit on some things in this next minute here. First is the Celtics won a game where the opposing team made 21 threes, shooting 47%. That doesn't happen often. Next, let's talk about Pritchard. He has been balling. This is 2 out of the last 4 games. He's at 20 plus points, and I like the role we're seeing him in more. He's just more confident out there, and we're seeing him not just as a scorer, but as a true playmaker, point guard off the bench. Next, let's talk about Jrue Holiday. I think a lot of the questions that people had around him were answered tonight with Tatum out. He picked up more of the offensive load, finished with 21 points, 10 assists, 8 rebounds. It's like the 3rd or 4th game he's been knocking on the door of the triple-double. And this goes for Jrue and Derek. These guys are at their best when they have the ball in their hands. That's when they're most confident. It's just hard because you have so much talent, so many great ball handlers, so many great decision makers, but I gotta see Jrue and Derek on ball a little bit more. JB, another phenomenal game, filled his role perfectly. In years past when Tatum was out, he might feel the need to drop 40 or force that, but that's not what he was doing tonight. A little bit of everything, over 20 points, 7 assists, 0 turnovers in that monster poster on Trey Lyles. But I'm going to wrap it up right there. And again, another monster win, 144 to 119 without Jayson Tatum, without Al Horford, against a good Sacramento team. The Celtics still hold the best record in the league at 21-6. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe. I'm here after every single Celtics game, all 82 plus. I'm not going anywhere. I will talk to you guys Saturday, December 23rd against the Red Hot Clippers, okay? 3 p.m. Eastern time. Peace.